This is another episode of Hot Take Point Made, your favourite show, or the show that you love to hate, or do you hate to love it? That's one of those like existential questions people really have to ask. Well, I'll tell you what. What's the most valuable thing in the world? I would say, if you think about the situations life throws at you, it's poise under pressure. Because when you're under pressure, you know what happens, don't you? You start to sweat, don't you? That little peppy sweat comes down like Team Liquid. And much like Team Liquid, if you can't hold your nerve, something stinks around here. Well, you know what? In that scenario, you need to manage your body order, not just your non-existent map control. And then in that scenario, here's the way you do it. Mando doesn't cover up order after the fact with heavy fragrances, you know, like just putting a few new players in the team and saying, that'll probably work, right? Still stinks. So what they do instead is it stops order at the source by blocking the bacteria on your skin from eating the sweat, which is the actual cause of BO, apparently. What does this mean? It means Mando is clinically proven to control order for up to 72 hours. That's a long time, just like the flight that Team Liquid will be taking home after that match, and the thoughts they will have, the nightmares running in their head. Ultimate, the monster that chases him down the hall. He quickly goes in, he opens the door. It's there already. He closes the door, he runs back, he gets an aeroplane over to Rio, he lands, it's waiting for him with the bags. Oh my God. So anyway, you can imagine what's going on. So don't save yourself from that nightmare and give yourself the precious gift of body odor control. Get yourself some Mando whole body deodorant. We've got a special offer for people who watch this show. New customers get $5 off Mando's best-selling starter pack with code, it's on screen, HTPM, Hot Take Point Made, obviously, at shopmando.com. I've used it today when I finished at the gym. I have like the underarm thing I put on. Actually, even has a nice manly smell. It seems like it works pretty well. That's the one that does the 72 hours. You've used it, right, Maui?
Yep, my girlfriend loves it. I love it. I think it's just it just feels better overall too than some of the other ones. I don't want to really. It's all subjective, really, at that point. But it does feel good on my skin as opposed to some other ones that have other kind of products in them and stuff. I think it overall. I also really like the starter pack because I've been using the bourbon leather body wash too. That thing makes me smell. Okay. I smell hella good with that, so I like that a lot too.
I do use these. I have the wipes because obviously if you're at a PC all day, that's actually good. If you haven't got time when you're doing a show, you just do that, don't you? And then you don't feel all grimy, do you?
I honestly,
I mean, you can use them. You can use them for some other stuff if you're a PC. You know, just
true.
You could. They're like right. I mean, to wipe your keyboard and stuff.
Yeah, of course. What else would you need? The screen.
Yeah. The thing is, like, our guys are not nice. Like talking about talking about this thing. Like, I used it, for example, when I was flying, not to smell like a.
That's a good use.
Yeah. Just like I used it like in the plane, and it was all right. I think I will continue to use it. It's not bad. I mean. Okay. It's a good, like you said, it's a starter pack. I use it as a travel pack, so it was pretty good. Yeah.
Also, if you're American, how often can you say this? It's American made. Wasn't just made elsewhere, was it? It's aluminium free, baking soda free, cruelty free, dye free, Team Liquid T-sides are free. What? Sorry, I mean vegan. They're fairly vegan as well, to be fair. There's no beef there whatsoever. There's no meat. There's, what's that? A piece of salad. Anyway, so it's clinically proven to control body odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, apparently the average level is 5 out of 10 for body odor. With Mando, the average level is 0 out of 10. So again, use the discount code. You will get hooked on my favourite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use the code HTPM at shopmando.com, SHOPMANDO.com. There we go. Right, let's get into it, boys, because here's the thing. We have just finished watching the Team Liquid. No one's even referenced this. Ultimate throwback. Hey, I guess they are still the Team's Liquid, eh? Because that's one of the craziest, that was some MLG Columbus level garbage. What was that? So I feel like everyone, just from that game, has been loading hot take bullets into the gun. I've got a few in the chamber, boys, if necessary. So who's going to start us off? Come on. By the way, also, me and Kassad the other day did that thing where just for some banter, I think we've created a take there. So who wants to start this one? Who wants to start?
We'll get into that one later. I really want to go off this.
Yes, go for it.
Defeat but not me, because Maui is an American.
Okay.
Liquid is supposed to be American. Like
So
I want
They're
to hear
barely
like,
anymore. They're not really even.
The first impression, the first like like you said, a bullet in the chamber, figuratively speaking, that you have for us, Maui.
I mean, I was this game. I feel like you went through so many emotions with it. Like I was ready to apologize to Ultimate. I was ready to apologize to Twist picking it up as an in-game leader, and then I got to just backtrack on everything. I just got to double down the fact that I don't have to apologize now to Twist as an in-game leader. That he is just LARPing as an in-game leader in some ways. That's been one of my takes. I think. Unfortunately, I have to double down on a take though that I made some time ago. That this game could have easily gone either way. They just needed one round. They needed one more call, and they couldn't find it for whatever reason. They couldn't find it. And I'm just gonna say this as a whole. I had this take ready to go kind of halfway through the Liquid phase 1. I have it ready still because it's still applicable because of what's going on with G2 and Snacks at the helm. But I still am gonna double down. Like the MR12 stuff, you don't really need as good of IGLs. I still don't feel like you need as good of IGLs as you did back in the MR15 era because you could, if Liquid just won the second round of if they just won pistol here, they would have won this game. I still feel like MR12 leads to IGLs not being as needed.
Okay.
And I think the prime example is as far as Twist got here, who's doing it as a brand new in-game leader, but also more so, if you just have enough firepower like Snacks, you don't even need to call that well.
By the way, I will say, before everyone cries, like, oh, FaZe's comeback was so unlikely, it would have been 2-0 if TL didn't do their own comeback. What are we talking about? Like, I love how everyone just skips that one. They're just like, my win goes in the bank, your win. Let's examine the boards of that. Like, come on then. What's the actual take? What was the take?
It's the same take
like,
that I had.
Wait a minute, you're just doing the same take?
If it's a double down. It's a double down. It's a big double down on the fact that MR12. I don't think in CS2 later on you're going to need the best.
All right, you know what, Kassad?
Really
Fair enough.
You know what I love
he knows
about this board? Sorry,
listen, he knows it's a 4-course meal. So the thing is, he's starting us with the appetizer. You know, he's not coming with.
I got better takes coming. The
thing is like the only thing that was like interesting about this take was like the fact that when he started talking about apologizing, Duncan just left the shot completely. He doesn't want to be in the shot.
My shot was inside out, it's all good.
Apologizing for anything ever. So that was the only thing like that was interesting. But yes, I mean, like this take was just whatever. But the fact that Liquid choked it, yes. I don't think we can deny it. But yeah, Duncan, you go.
Okay, I'll make a better one. So I already thought this anyway. I mean, I will say, by the way, people are ignoring that. Like, they obviously did beat NAVI at the Blast North. But my problem with this run of Liquid is very simple. They're playing fucking Furia twice and nobody's in bombs and like... It's only FaZe they've played that's good. And by the way, you all tell me FaZe, and not you in its call, all the people on Reddit tell me FaZe is washed and cooked and shit. Well, in that case, you're in bad shape because, first of all, you've lost them twice and they were the only good teams you played. So when you tell me how good Ultimate is, because on CT side, he's just farming noobs going in his crosshair. Mate, I could load up CSTM, you can watch me all day too. I guess I'm the next top AWPer. So my take is this. I've got a couple, but here's the first one. You know this Team Liquid lineup, this 5-man lineup, with Ultimate, your favourite new AWPer, everyone. With my boy JKS, I love. With Naf, who will never be a superstar player, but is just the 3rd star, and that's why when you're in trouble, he can't really do much either. With Twists, who just calls the game around himself like some kind of semi-aggro rifling happy, so he gets his numbers, but they lose the game. He must be an awesome IGL. But you know what? Because he picked a guy up who can beat up Checks Notes Fallen, he's an amazing scout who now has a future scouting. By the way, he scouted Cadian after playing him a million times and said, let me in the game, coach, and then went, So anyway, here's my take. This Team Liquid lineup will never make a final. Ooh, see ya. The only team they beat Na'Vi in a Blast. No one gives a fuck about Blast. Blast is nothing. That's the fucking qualifier to the Banana Cup. Like, the finals are all right once you get to the playoffs. Everything else, have you noticed how Blast groups and then the groups of the of the finals are the most wacky results ever? That just gives you like a random BO3 where, like, back in the day, remember when OG with Dexter just beat Navi for no reason, like right after the major? Like, you have the stupidest results there. So I'm just saying it. I don't think this team will even make a final. They might get a trophy. They're not going to make a final. I think this team has farmed bad teams. By the way, they look legit in that sense. And Cos Twist is really good as a rifler. Calling around himself gives you a real win condition. Then beyond that, you've got some good pieces, some all right pieces, but you don't have the true team quality for me. And that's why I think you can beat the Coles of the world, the VPs of the world. Maybe you could beat Astralis. You could beat NAVI the odd time. Probably shouldn't beat them most of the time even. I think Mouse would cook you. Vitality would smash you. I think even G2 would beat you. I think you can go down the line, mate. So actually, Spirit would get you. I don't even give a fuck that they just had a bad tournament. If that Spirit lineup gets back in shape, they'll beat you as well. Because I'm just saying, I don't think they make a final. I think they're just like I think it's actually going to be like Astralis again. I think they're going to be a team that does like a quarter, the odd semi, that's it. That's all you get from this one. And I don't hate on it, because here's the thing. They probably are just one move from actually being good, but I don't think they're there yet. I think people... Put it this way, the worst thing that could have happened for TL fans was win that last map. I think you would have all started believing like a motherfucker, and it would have been Heartbreak Hotel. So I hope this just tempers it down a bit. Someone want to push back on me? That's a pretty bold take, not even a final.
It's a decent take, considering the moment that they are in right now. Everybody's hyped on Liquid. Everybody's like thinking like, all right, this Ultimate Kid is good. They're playing well. Twist, he's him. Like, he's the IGL. Like, it's just.
By the way, someone in my Discord had the best joke. They just said that one where they said the classic one, like, yeah, Carrigan taught Twist everything he knows, but he didn't teach Twist everything Carrigan knows. That's the fucking line, obviously, isn't it? It's like, that's the way you phrase that one, isn't it? It's like, this is the master. Just sit down.
The thing is, like, you can't say that you have to admit that they're better than they were before.
Of course.
In the last couple of seasons. More than, like, more than just last season with Cadian and whatever. Skulls,
you have to go back to probably 2022 when they were this good, yeah.
We played them a few times on scrims. They did look very sharp. They did look very organized, confident. Like, I watched some of their demos on some of the software tools that we have, that we are using right now as a team, and it's just like, not some of them, most of them actually. And then it looks like they have a direction they're like taking, and the way they're calling and the way they're playing their T side is fine. But the biggest reason they are winning this, like all these games, they did win twice against Navi 2-1 in Blast. They did win against Furia, who was it, Pain, and like a couple of other teams, which is a respectable result for the new lineup, for all these things that have changed. The Ultimate Kid is good. I'm not gonna lie, he's good. He's like not scared of fights. He's not scared of pressure. Haven't seen him in the arena. We probably get to see him at some time in the future to see like he's actually the real deal or not. But so far he seems like he is. But I do agree with Duncan that they're one move away, which I'm going to segue into my next take. But the thing is, like, right now, all the success they're having is, well, not all, but big part of it is the fact that they're having this huge confidence boost. You see they're taking fights. You see how they're swinging, how they're entering the retakes, like very fast, very chaotic. They're going in for the fights. There is nobody who is second guessing anybody. Like, it's just very, very aggressive, very like, like they are on the same page when it comes to those things, right? It seems that way, but it's all about like consistency at the end of the day. Like, you are up 12-3 against FaZe on the T side of Mirage, and they are giving you mid 8 times in a row. They're not fighting middle lane. You cannot make the call to do anything, to win one round, which is presenting itself like a problem, like something they need to solve very quickly before they get into a pro league or whatever the hell they're playing next, right? So the thing is, like, the reactions are not there, the timeouts are not there, like the proper like X factor to win you that one magical round like other teams have, it's not there, and that's why they're maybe one move away of being like a playoff team, deep playoff team, maybe even contending for some of the finals. But I am agreeing with Duncan with this 5, like, no grand finals at all. But, if they do that one change that I'm going to talk about a little bit later after when I go to my take is
okay,
I think
his own take, okay.
I think that I agree with you, Duncan.
Okay, all good.
Yeah. Maui?
Not making finals with this 5-man lineup, I guess it just depends on obviously the tier of the event, because, I mean, do I think they're going to make like the Blast Fall Finals despite the fact they qualified? No. Do I think that they're going to make basically like an S tier LAN? I just think like if someone's going to get you on a technicality, Thorin, that's what I imagine. If someone's like, oh,
it's always about the context of what I'm saying. Well,
yeah.
Obviously, I don't mean if they go to ESL Challenger, they can't make the final.
Yeah.
A Yala Compass, the context is
IEM's Pro League.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Then I don't think. No, I don't think they'll. No. I don't think they're going to. I think they'll make a roster move before they actually, because it does feel like they're just in a honeymoon. I think that's kind of my addition to this one. They're in a honeymoon right now. People don't know how to strategize against them just yet. They're not actually taking their demos quite as seriously. And actually, the funny thing is that when they played Complexity earlier before this match, I actually felt like Complexity had all of the right moves. They made all the right game plans. They actually in the mid round were actually outplaying them most of the time. The reason that Liquid beat Complexity was not because of a better strategy or Twist's calls or anything like that. It was that frequently Complexity would fall apart in 4v2s, 5v3s, 2v1s. They kept falling apart there, which is a testament to the quality of players that are on Liquid. But already I'm starting to see big cracks in Twist's calling, and it's been 1.5 tournaments. I would consider obviously the Blast groups being half of a tournament, and now Cologne. So I don't think that, I think he's going to try to improve himself, obviously, but I think that they're just kind of thriving right now off of player quality. And another thing that I always bring up about these things, Ultimate had an incredible coming out party here at Cologne, and this was really a testament to just the fact that, yeah, he can play at this stage in some ways. Sure. But I always say, like, the first big tournament an Opper plays is where nobody knows their tendencies. All of those opening picks that he was able to find in some of those games, it's because nobody knows what he wants to go for yet. They don't know how he's going to fit into the system. And if you even just like looking at Ultimate's opening kills, it's like really high, like 23% attempt rate, 65% success rate. Like, he's not Monacy. He's not Monacy, you know? He's not going to keep doing that every single tournament. It's just that people didn't know what he was going to do, and he is reasonably skilled. I think that he deserves a little bit of credit there, but he can't go for this many opening picks and succeed this frequently once people start to anti-strat him, which they will next tournament.
By the way, it's totally reasonable that he's not yet good enough to play against fucking ZywOo and Wonderful and all the rest of them. Like, he's not only a rookie, but, like, he's also in a scenario where, let's just be real, this is a little bit of analysis. Team Liquid still doesn't know how to use AWPers. Like, he's just fucking coming in at the back for the clutch. Like, they still don't know how to set this guy up. That's one of the reasons why the Twists angle is an interesting one I'll come up with later, because I also think, like, that player, if anything, here's what he's shown so far. If it doesn't work out in Liquid, plenty of other teams you can go to, mate. And if you make you a star in that team, you could probably be a pretty good player. Maybe you could even be like the 22nd best player in the world. So who knows? I did actually make this point, by the way, on all my talk shows when Liquid signed this player. Even though I said I've never seen this player play. Like, maybe I accidentally saw NAVI HGO fucking 2022 or whatever. But here's the thing. I said it's not implausible, though, that an AWPer could be a nobody and be really good, because by definition, in the top 10 teams, you only have 10 AWPers. So first of all, if you have any legacy AWPers, like Jame and Cadian and Fallen, like, already there could just be a guy out there who doesn't have a spot on the team. It's like a goalie in hockey. Of course, there could be some goalie you don't know who's fucking sick. He just isn't on a team right now. There's only one goalie per team. So it's actually the role that, in theory, there could be the most talent out there. But also, it's a different level when you come against the big boys, mate. Like, they're not just doing FPL noob peeks into you. They're fucking baiting you out, wrecking you. So, okay, who's next? Who's next?
I think he's going to evolve as well. Like, the eye test, like, I'm going to take that next. But the eye test for this kid is not bad at all. Like, he's like, he didn't shit the bed. Like, we can agree on that one. Absolutely. You can call him, like, maybe he's not going to develop. Maybe he will. It's just about the Liquid and the environment there and the coach and whatever, like, is happening there. I don't think we can say a single bad thing about Ultimate ever since he joined in. He was, like, much better than most of the ops that Liquid had in the past 5 years. You know, and that simply it is. Like, the way he carries himself in the games, the way he plays with the pistols, he calls his angles on the CT side. He doesn't give up fights when he has the advantage. He knows how to press the advantage. It's just the decision making is all right. Like, obviously he's not perfect. He's not there, like Duncan said, up there with ZywOo and people, but, like, it's his first event, the one that, like, actually matters. Like, and then he showed up, so let him be. The other stuff, like when you said, Maui, about, like, he's showing cracks, Twist showing cracks in calling, also expected. Like, I mean, he just took it, right? He just took it. He just took it. Let's give it a season, see what happens. Like, is he gonna be, like, annoyed or whatever the hell is gonna happen with him? But, like, they didn't disappoint. That's what I'm saying. I say this because I played against them in the practice games, and, like, you can see that they know what they're doing. They have, like, they're on the same page. They are, like, you know, doing things together and stuff. So it felt like you're playing a proper team, right? They're not just randomly, like, they have this confidence boost, like I said. But still, to segue to my next take, and my first take is, like, that Liquid change, right? And that the first part of the take is actually that NertZ is wasting his career in Heroic, and he needs to be in Liquid. instead of YEKINDAR. Okay. And take those positions, because YEKINDAR right now, yes, maybe I don't know if he has a good or bad event. Didn't really look at his numbers, but he's playing it's just whatever. Yes, exactly, average. The numbers that he's producing on the position that he's playing is not good enough. If you want to be that liquid, like you said, Duncan, if you want to be the liquid that's gonna make those finals that you think that they're not gonna make, the change they need to make is the one from heroic to fucking liquid. That needs to be NertZ. He needs to be taking all YEKINDAR spots. He's equally vocal. His personality is very strong as well, equally as YEKINDAR's, and he's, I think, more complete player. And he's that X factor. If I'm 100% sure, obviously we cannot ever prove it or see it, but in my opinion is that, like, if he was in this lineup on this game in 12-3, he would be the one that would contribute for that one round. That would be like either with a call or with an individual move, something off script, something like crazy in the mid round, catch some timing to get somebody in the back and like deliver an impact kill. He's that guy, and I don't think he's doing like. Yes, he has like his friend Saw that he worked with in Ants and everything, and they brought in Dexter, but they have so many issues right now. Dexter not being able to play this or that event, and like it's getting really annoying. I think he's a talent that needs to be used in a much better way right now, and I think he needs like a much larger team and a larger organization, I guess. In a sense that he needs to go for the titles. He's that type of player who needs to be in the team that is a title contender. Right now, Heroic, I don't think they're bad by any means, but I don't think they're there yet. And I think him going to Liquid, it would be a great move. And it would complete Liquid in a sense. It would give them more balance, like offensive and defensive players. And the star level or star position numbers would be much better than they are right now.
Okay. Right, first things first, I have to do the thing where if you mean as an abstract thing, like if anything's possible and you have godlike powers, you can take NertZ and put him on Team Liquid. Right, Team Liquid, kassad, just did their third rebuild in like 2 years, mate, and they spent fucking millions and millions of dollars. So, and they didn't qualify to the last major. So right now, bear in mind NertZ just got bought by Heroic. That would literally probably be like $1 million buyout, mate. Like that's how much that would cost. So I don't
they got Ultimate for nothing, right? As well.
Yeah, but I don't think that's even on the table. Like, I don't get the vibe the org is in any position to spend $1 million.
I'm sure maybe not in 2024, but 2025.
Okay, in the future, right? Okay.
2025 budget should probably look like something that they can afford.
Okay.
For this season, probably not.
Right,
no,
okay,
no.
There you go. That's what I thought you meant. I thought you meant they should do it now and do the move. Then the other thing is, if you're NertZ, look, you might be ready to pull the plug, but if you're NertZ, it's like Dexter just got here, bro. Like, I'm at least going to give it a few months. Probably going to give it to the next major, obviously, like, give it a try. Like, we've just gradually built this team up. We finally got the AWPA. Like, he's not leaving immediately. And as you say, he's with Saw. Like, he's not going like, Saw, listen, it's been real cool 6 months and everything. Call me. Like, he's not fucking going out the door like that. So, I think right now...
It hasn't been 6 months, though. It has been even before, like when they played in Ants. Maybe it was 6 months in Heroic. But you have to look out for yourself at the end of the day, right?
Okay. So here's the question, kassad. Who would you rather have as your coach, Saw or Myth R? Myth R.
Yeah, but who would you rather have as an IGL or a teammate, like,
Kixon or Twist? I'll take snap call Kixon. Thank you. You get to have Twist, I get to have Kixon. Thank you.
I'll take it.
Yeah, snap call. I've got a call coming on that soon, mate. Like I actually think
if you look at it like that, then like who would you rather have as a defensive player, like JKS or NAF or a Shush or whatever, right? It's just if you look at it like that, then maybe you can say that Heroic is a better team than Liquid. Right?
Okay, do you want a hot take? If Dexter actually is allowed to be at the tournament and not arrive 1 second before the clock strikes 12, Heroic is a better team than Team Liquid. There's a hot take for you.
That's a hot take and a half.
The pieces are right there, mate. I think
I would argue with that with you.
Go for it.
Around that one for a long time, but like we can just stick to this one and we can go into that next one. But the thing is, what? You think I'm just shying away from an argument or a debate? Absolutely not.
Listen, I think you're still just riding high off the fact that simultaneously fucking Huxley's cut. You've actually now baited Nexon and dropping so many layers into your team. Now he's overqualified. NiKo's actually good at the game again. Hunter seems to be able to like play again. Fucking hell, like everything's coming good for you. So right, you've had a kid at this point in time, mate. Like what's going wrong? So you just think all your takes are going to work. It's all good. I get it. I've been high too.
I'm on a roll.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You should listen to me. You know what it means, right?
I feel like Heroic right now, if we're just getting into the Liquid versus Heroic, I feel like Heroic, they kind of feel more like a team to me right now, but I feel like I would have to take Liquid versus Heroic. The player quality is just way higher. That's basically the reason. I feel like a CT side from Heroic, I'm going to see somebody make a mistake. I'm going to see somebody miss a bad kill. Like the only guy right now I'm seeing on Liquid that maybe is like flubbing his lines a little bit is probably YEKINDAR, and that's one player that's kind of liable to mess up versus Heroic, who unfortunately, like the Dexter situation just sucks. Like I can't really say he's bad. I just think that the whole situation just sucks repeatedly, as he can't go to Dallas, can't go to Cologne until like the last day before it. It's just all frustrating. I mean, to go back to Kassad's actual take though on NertZ to Liquid for YEKINDAR, in a hypothetical world right now, I feel like, I mean, the thing is with Liquid, they just keep kind of striking out and missing the real gems right now. I mean, imagine if they got Mobs for YEKINDAR. I mean, that would have been a slam
did
dunk
it the hot take. They didn't listen. But yeah,
right.
Oh, sorry.
That's true. You did actually say that. So yeah. I mean, you got your finger on the pulse there. I mean, I don't think that's even really a huge debate for me whether who's better right now. I'd say NertZ is better than YEKINDAR. I think 90% of people would agree with. I don't even know who would disagree with that, other than maybe like Latvians themselves.
I don't even think on a lie detector YEKINDAR would disagree with that.
Right. So I think that it makes sense, obviously. I wish you kind of up the ante though. Yeah, that's saying something like I'm not going to talk to NertZ anymore unless he gets himself on Liquid.
There you go.
Like,
okay.
I'm not saying. I think maybe I should do it. Like
By the way,
look how you turned out for G2.
You know what? I can sort of spin this into a mini take. I was going to do this take because it's another TL one, but it's actually applies to this because obviously you're making YEKINDAR's the guy to replace, which he obviously is, by the way. The joke is, in theory, it should have been Ultimate because we need the AWPer, but right now he can stay for now. We can have a little bit more time. YEKINDAR, you're cooked, mate, and here's why. You are cooked because I was doing this thing. I've realised I had to catch myself today when I was going to the fridge. I went, wait a minute. I've been giving YEKINDAR that like extra rope that I give to the great players. If you're like Shocks, Kenny S, Guardian, in the modern day, pick who you want. JKS hadn't played for ages. If you're someone who's done it at a high enough level for long enough, I'll give you 6 months where your role's a bit fucked up, your form's a bit off, you don't like this teammate, this calling star. Wait a minute, YEKINDAR, you were never him. You almost got there, brother. Online, I'm winning shit. Remember on LAN, bro, he used to even just fade in the playoffs of majors as well. He would cook the group stage, even the best games you've ever seen on T-side entries. And then in the playoffs, he'd just get real calm, real nice and quiet. Really nice little boy, curly little hair from fucking Latvia. Hey. And also, I'm just going to say this right now. This isn't even a hot take. This is just fucking life advice, son. You know when people go, I'm so quirky, me. I'm sort of like a maverick. Like, I'm Kirby. See how I spray all fucked up? Ooh, look at this mouse grip I've got like that. That's cool, right, until you're fucking shit at the game. Move your face away from the monitor. You are not fucking good right now. It makes no sense to be this close to the monitor. Like, that's the only sense you're getting your head in the game, brother. You are fucking trash right now. And here's why it's really beautiful. Because are you ready? You all hate Stabby. You act like he fucked your mum, for fuck's sake, your girlfriend. They just did what's best for them in CS, by the way, with the guy who I've told you. Now that I've heard all the stories, I'm starting to lean towards that way with the scales on that whole Cadian versus Stabby thing. Well, I'll tell you one thing I think is fucking rich, is that you guys wanted Cadian in this Team Liquid. And are you ready what I've heard, Kassad? I've heard it wasn't just Twists who wanted Cadian out. It was also YEKINDAR, because they were the ones who had the idea. They were the ones brainstorming late at night. Here's the strats, here's the platform. Of course, if we had control of the playbook, they were the grimmer worm tongue in fucking Jocker Steve's ear. If we had the playbook and we could design them, then it'd be excellent. And of course, then my level would get back again. And then I'd be worth my salary. Mate, you've got the playbook. Your boy's calling. By the way, he's calling for himself. Why don't you just ask him to ring your number up? Because here's the problem. There is no number. I watched this guy play loads now, right? it is actually rare I ever see one of those rounds where he runs in with an AK and kills 3 people. Nowadays, I see him like mangle a normal duel. Like in this game, if you didn't watch right here, he was just getting beaten in duels by Carrigan, for fuck's sake. And Carrigan is objectively bad at Counter-Strike. Like, actually, like he's good at positioning and he sometimes knows when to make a big balls play under pressure. But I even watch him, like, the joke is, did you see where he tried to like one-tap that guy at fucking ramp on him from like A site? Like, he even knew he was going to whiff the first 3 bullets. He was like, right. He didn't even do the NiKo, like one tap fade away. He's like, better just sit on this one. Oh, yeah, I got it. Thanks for staying still, mate. Like, YEKINDAR is cooked. Guys, let's just think of this right now. He became the IGL when? When did they kick? So it wasn't long after like Blast that they kicked fucking Elige. I'm going to say towards the summer. I'm just going to quickly look this up. When did they kick Elige and make YEKINDAR IGL? Right, it looks like it was
when Nitro was off the team. It was more with Nitro's departure, right? So that was 2020.
Right, yes, they acquired Rainwaker and Patsy in June. So over 1 year ago, bro.
Yeah.
This guy has never been good now for over a year. Over a year. And he's had a million chances. Like, what are we waiting for? Remember, it's even inferred to me in some of these teams. He maybe even gets secondary caller duties because of the role he plays. Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm sorry. I saw someone for 2 years be really shit hot and look like the next, great fucking aggressive rifler. And then he just decayed. And what excuse does he have now? You know what I mean? Like, I can even give Twist more of an excuse for an IGL. He's working with the rookie Orper. He's got a weird team. He's got, like, players that he's integrated. What's YEKINDAR's excuse at this point in time? What are we waiting for? By the way, anyone else would be kicked. People want Navi. Dude,
100%.
people wanted Navi players kicked towards the end of the season. And YEKINDAR gets to stay. Why? Shouldn't he be fucking off and playing in some Eastern European team again? You know what I mean?
That's a fair point. People wanted like Navi players out after they won the major, like 2 months later.
Yes.
They
wanted
just
him
like
booted instantly,
spewing fucking hate and like just he needs to be kicked 2 months after. But this guy's like there for like what, 2 years, year and a half since he became the IGL.
Yes.
I just wonder what happened. Like because in theory, logically looking, like this game is faster than CS:GO was.
Yep.
It's more dynamic. There is no holding angles.
He should be better.
He should be better.
Yes.
It should be like better for him. And somehow he doesn't. I don't know what happened.
Also,
like,
I heard behind the scenes
want to know sometimes
that like it did get to him, mate, that bad period where he was IGL. I heard it did hit his confidence. That's even worse, mate. I know what's funny is this is where I'm a complicated person. You might think I might want to hear that he's not cocky anymore, Maui, because now in theory he's not cocky. Maybe he's learned his lesson. No, bro, his whole playing style needs you to be cocky. You have to actually believe you're the best fucking AK in the world when you play his style. And I tell you what, he wasn't far off when he was in his prime. He never quite got there, but he wasn't far off.
Well,
it's like young kids. Young kids are stupid. They're playing.
He's getting ready to be a dad here. You see, he's just working on his.
I know.
It's just straight up like.
It's been a dad for like 2 days or something.
Like they think they know what's best. If you can't even tell him, like, listen,
Yeah.
maybe this is not the best one because I've seen this 10 million times before, and it always goes the same way. Always goes the same way. 1 in a million people will be right. That 1 in a million is Michael Jordan. LeBron James or whatever the fuck athlete that you follow, like one generational person. But all of them are fucking going the other way. And you warn them, you tell them, listen, as a coach, as a fucking whatever, I've seen this thing and I know how he's gonna go. And no, I know better. I think I'm gonna do my thing. And then it goes to shit. And then what do? You end up like being talked about on this show.
Exactly. This is your final destination.
Yeah. I mean, here's a spin-off take in my classic fashion of just taking external factors and adding them into this. I mean, I think there's been a lot of things that could have reversed YEKINDAR's slip to the lack of confidence that we've seen. The first thing was that Valve allowed you to actually use a left-hand view model because YEKINDAR actually used that in CS:GO. The second thing is that he actually started using snap tap, and he really still hasn't gotten better. And the one thing that I now have
he's even on the gear. He's even on the fucking gear.
He's using snap tap. Yeah, he's using snap tap, and he's still not really popping off like he was. And so the last thing is like I don't usually like
snap tap has requested that YEKINDAR stop using it, please.
I don't like to bring up people's appearances on this show. I don't like to do it in general in my analysis in general. But YEKINDAR used to cite the reason that he had such confidence in the game was because he did different types of mixed martial arts. He did mixed martial arts, and it's clear, I'm just going to make the assumption here, that he has gained some weight. He's probably not doing that anymore. He's probably not doing that anymore. He needs to get his ass in the fucking dojo if he wants to actually start playing well in the server. That's my take on YEKINDAR. You need to get your ass in the dojo.
He needs Apollo Creed to train him for the next fight.
Yes, because his IRL ability apparently to be a martial artist was one of the reasons he said he had such unbridled confidence, because he said and quote he said that the reason that I had such confidence in the game is because I know that I could also beat people up in real life. It's like, okay, but you can't do that anymore. So I think you need to honestly get back in shape. It's one of the few times where I think losing weight is going to help a player, because so many times people get in shape and they just get worse at the game, honestly. But this is the one time I think it would help him.
Also, along those lines, I'll give you another bullshit Maui, like, fucking external reason. Because he moved to America, he's eating all those burgers and stuff with all, like, seed oils in it and all that shit, and all that toxic E numbers from America. Get back to Europe, get some of that fresh fucking, I don't even know what shite you eat in Latvia. Probably some shite containing a fucking cabbage and fucking, like, beetroot. Oh, it's lovely when grandma makes it. Yeah, she isn't in fucking America, is she? So, fuck back off. Just piss off home. As we say where I'm from, fuck off back round your own end.
I'm out of the fucking America as well. Like,
yeah, why are you doing that, you fool?
Cabbage is good, by the way.
I bet it is, yeah.
The thing is, like, we don't know what happened. Like, he's just, like, fell off completely. He was such a dangerous player. Like, so annoying to play against. You couldn't, like, you know that he's going to do something crazy, and he does it, and it works. And now all of a sudden, you know he's going to do something crazy, and you are looking forward to it.
Oh, I know what we need to do. I've figured it out, guys. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. Right now, as he goes back to his hotel room in the whatever it is, Hyatt or whatever the fuck it is in Hilton or whatever it is in Cologne, I forget which hotel it is, that one right next to the river. Hilton. There you go, Hilton, I think it is. Right, when he goes back there, he goes back home, he checks, only a few hours difference. He picks up the phone. Meanwhile, somewhere in Russia, Jame picks up the phone. You up? Listen, mate, you two need each other. All I'm saying, listen, some Kobe Shaq shit. I know it didn't work out that well emotionally, but how's it looked since? I mean, all I'm saying is he lacks a kind of aggressive riflers. You lack, I don't know, good IGL or something. I don't fucking know at this point in time.
What do you mean he lacks aggressive riflers? The thing is, like, I'm going to segue into my next one.
Then.
And that is fucking Jame needs to go.
Okay.
He needs to go.
It's in 30, mate.
Right?
Yeah.
The thing is, like, for me, I don't think he did a good job transitioning his team from CSGO to CS2 at all.
Yep.
He's buying all these players. They got Electronic, which is by far the most overpaid player in the last 7 years.
Dude, Jim literally got everything any IGL could ask for. It's amazing.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, you can see Fame, who was a fucking
he's trash now.
monster player. I remember him in Rio. I watched it. I stand behind him, and he was playing. He's a fucking beast. And now he's just a little, the little house cat that doesn't do really anything. He's just there, like a little bit here, a little bit there, just like hanging around. And then I think it comes down to the VP playstyle and the way they're running their team. It's just so boring and so inadequate to the CS2 that we are looking now, that it's more dynamic, more fast, more like swinging ways, more like, doing stuff early, being proactive on the CT side instead of gambling, like doing all these things. And then they're not really doing any of those. They're just sitting there. I think they're being destroyed by that system. And that system is being run by who? It wasn't Dustin, obviously, because he got kicked, the system remained. It has to be Jame. Now, if he doesn't work, then Jame needs to go. Go anywhere you want, like, mate. But, like, they need to make something happen because they have really good riflers. They have Flit. They have Norbert, who is one of the, if not the best player, together with maybe Malbus, I guess, who transitioned from CSGO to CS2 and kind of exploded, in a sense, to became tremendously better.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of their best players, but if not the best player, together with Flit in that team, because he's putting up numbers. He's doing this, what we call support work, but he doesn't really show all that much. He is their best player. And then you obviously have that guy. You have Flit, who is great rifle. Fame, who is a great rifle, and then you got Electronic, then which is not really the old Electronic at all. I don't see a shadow, not even a shadow of that guy anymore in the games they play. And then you have Jame, who is just now an average opper. He's not really like a top tier opper anymore. So my take is that he needs to go. They need to switch things up. They need to change the system completely. Doesn't really matter who they bring as a coach, or they bring another coach or not, or they keep the same. But something clearly needs to change in the system, not in the players. That is my take.
I feel like, I mean, unfortunately, I saw a little bit of the complexity VP one, but I think the thing when I do watch VP, I guess it seems like this catches some teams off. It's kind of like a results-oriented thinking, but I think that at this point you need to use that kind of analysis to talk about VP, where I don't always feel like they give their individuals the most autonomy, and I feel like that's something I feel like we're probably watching in some ways kind of like the faults of what was bad about Alexi B when people would talk about the fact that he micromanaged a little bit too much. I feel like it's possible that Jame is a little bit like that. Like he really wants to unite the people or unite his team in the certain actions that they make across the map. When in reality, I actually feel like you could easily let people off the leash a little bit more. And so maybe the plays being a little bit too sort of drawn up, like it has to get into this sort of game state, then we need to move into this next phase. I feel like that stuff is almost too predictable now, and I think that what makes certain teams a little bit more exciting is it's kind of the randomness of the individuals that allows them to just tweak things a little bit. And I think that's kind of been when I've been talking about the faults of Falcons, I kind of see a similar sort of fault there with VP, that everything's kind of like to the book based around this single philosophy of how he wants the round to go A through Z, every single step of the way. And so you've made the whole Jame take before, and I wanted to wait a little bit, see if they could maybe make the new map pool work because they were bad at overpass, or they were good at overpass, and see if Dust 2 could be a pick for them. And it's kind of proven not to be as strong. And I feel like it's clear that from what we heard before, the Electronic wants to be potentially the in-game leader of this team and actually give some of the calls. I mean, he's willing to do it. I'm actually, instead of targeting Jame, though, I'm actually probably just going to double down on my own point. For whatever reason, Electronic has just been a team ruiner. This guy is now on Cloud9. The team fell apart. Now on VP.
Fell apart. It never fell apart.
Well, okay. Well, when Electronic was on the team, Shiro left the team.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, you can say that. You can say that. But I actually think that team that had no AWPer is one of the most underrated teams I've ever seen. Like, dude, they always were in the playoffs. Like, they were actually fucking a good team. Like, they were good then. They were good then. But here's the take for you. That Cloud9's way better than this VP. In fact, here's my take.
Oh, it is.
VP is one of the worst super teams I've ever fucking seen. This is a super team where everyone's supposed to be a super team component, and it's nothing. They've got nothing going on here. So, okay, you think Electronic's a team ruiner? That was the take, yeah?
Well, that was the take that I had last show, or one of the last shows, a couple of shows ago.
Is there a reason why you're giving Jame a break, though?
I still feel like it's hard. I guess probably it's more of like the Cadian reason of it's just hard to replace him. And if you're going to go with the alternative of having Electronic as the in-game leader, we just saw that on Cloud9. Shiro literally left the team because he didn't fuck with it. So that's why I don't think it's like a great option.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maui, like, you keep Jame and you keep getting this. That's the thing. Like, you need to take a risk. At least take some sort of a risk, some sort of a semi-overhaul or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yes.
Like, give somebody else the chance to create their own stuff, because the players are good. Like, Norbert is really good right now. Like,
that's why you're right, kassad. That's why Jame has to go. Because here's the problem. Bro, I agree, it's hard because now you have to make someone an AWPer. So you probably have to make 2 changes or something stupid like that. Or Electronics IGL, you bring an AWPer in, right? Problem is, Russian scene full of AWPers, so you can solve that problem tomorrow. Like, here's the reason why I think Jame has to go. I just said it before. I don't know a single IGL, maybe Carrigan, who's gotten everything they wanted. If you looked at VP when they won the major and said, right, what changes would you make as the years go by? He's got every single one. Bro, he got Electronic from NAVI. He's got fucking, literally, Norbert got really good. Then he's got, who else? By the way, here's why that take on Reddit is fucking trash. You know the one where they just go, because this is how dumb people are. You know that famous thing everyone on Reddit goes, where they go, correlation is not causing, they all do it 24/7. So they took a screenshot of what Axire was like when Electronic joined and he got worse. And then they took a screenshot of what Flit was like, and then the Electronic joined and he got worse. Do you know who controls Flit's destiny? Jame, you fucking morons. What's Electronic doing? Turn into him, good, start fragging. Like, Electronic's not even the IGL. Like, it's on. By the way, here's why Jame is criminal. Because the best player on his team isn't Electronic, it is Flit. And if I'm Jame, my number one thing in England, it's we say this is the way your bread's buttered. My number one goal is get fucking Flit firing. Because I'll tell you what, Electronic, you can just fit in with the rest of them, mate. Like, we've got good players in this team already. I'm with kassad. We had 2-star players that were called Flit and Fame, and we've sacrificed them to have Electronic get his numbers, get paid, and Norbert just do whatever. James way worse. Map pool, by the way, is always criminally bad, no matter how many players they have. And James is one of the shittest vetoers I have ever seen in professional. He might be the worst vetoer to ever win a fucking major. This guy is criminal. Like you say, brother, he doesn't even know what their win rate is on Dust 2. He's picking it into everyone. He'll pick it in a Vitality, this dickhead. Like, I actually think he's criminal. Here's the problem with Jame. It's a bit like Cadian. They sort of got a bit too big for their boots. When they were on the team that's like the 10th best team, suddenly their quirks are cool and charming and sort of unique, aren't they? But when you give them the super team, this is why, by the way, Carrigan probably is the GOAT. Because Carrigan's the only one you can keep giving different pieces to, and he just gets the best out of them. Like other people, but then this guy didn't play the one I wanted, and then that Carrigan just goes, give me the pieces, let's make it work. Okay, it works, brilliant, thanks, I'll win now. Or at least be really good. So I sort of agree with kassad. Fuck Jim, get him out of here.
One of the most important things that I kind of agree that Carrigan might be the GOAT is the fact that he adapts to any player, he adapts to any type of game. And that's his biggest strength. He doesn't have to frag. He will recognize the players that he has, and he will recognize the meta that it is, and he will play it. Jame failed to do that.
I agree.
Absolutely failed to do that. Like in this game, there is no more first stage, second stage, third stage of the fucking round anymore. It's just you go, you open the round, and you make the mid-round call, done.
Yes.
You finish it off, and that's it. Now he is trying to do this thing where he does all these like moves, left, right, A, B, C, D, and it's just fucking not the thing. And obviously he doesn't have the players to do so. Like, and it's just that's the reason. Yeah, is he a legacy player, like you said in the last takes? Yeah, sure. But like right now, if VP wants to do something that's meaningful in the future, they need to get rid of him and get somebody else in his place. I don't know who it is or how they do it, but that sounds like, that's their problem. But right now, it's not working anymore.
By the way, there was even something in this TL match here that Carrigan said in the interview afterwards, which is, what this whole tournament phases T-sides look way better. They look like they're back to their best, like snappy trade fragging, all people coming in from different angles, people following up correctly, doing the right bait in the mid-round and go to the other side and draw the rotation. Carrigan said in his interview, because they'd had all these problems in the last few months, he just said to people, right, I'm taking over. I'm not giving people space anymore. I'm just microing people. That's the difference. That's the spectrum of IGL these other guys don't have. Twist can't do that right now. He can call around himself and sort of let a mid-round state happen and let good players get kills. Jame can just do his style. These guys can't do that. That's actually the area. It's funny that everyone hated Alexi micromanaging. I think Carrigan and Alexi's micromanaging is one of their biggest strengths because they have both. They can do the mid-round and let the players play, and they can do the micro and actually get the round they want as well, because sometimes players don't know how to close a round, and you just tell them what to do, and you actually might win that one, but you have to have the big brain. So, no, I think this is why these guys put a lot of these IGLs to shame.
Look at they lost 5 SO3s in a row to Falcons, Complexity, Big, Liquid, and G2.
That's mental, yeah.
Like,
who can you beat at this point,
I mean, where do you get your confidence back? By beating who? Who do you need to beat? Like, they're losing to Falcons, who are, like, by far the worst team, I think, in top 20. Well, let's see where they are right now. They are 14th somehow. No, they're 14th somehow. How are they 14th?
Because they do still win some series. They do still.
Yeah, and then, like, I mean, what series are they winning? Like, it's crazy. If you go to their results, like, I don't even know what's the meaningful series they won. Like, the meaningful one.
Go on then.
Against VP, that it's just alternate attacks and what? Gamer Legion? Like, it's just a beat ends, and like, there is no meaningful win for them. They're top 14 right now. They're by the far the worst top 20 team in the. But they're another subject. What I'm trying to say is that VP lost 5 games in a row. One of them being against Falcons, the second against struggling Complexity. Is like, with team of that caliber and the players of that caliber, that clearly means that something is way off with the system. So it's time to fix it.
All right, so I tell you what, I've got a mini hot take, and people might here's the problem. Remember, it's not actually about whether we think it's a hot take; it's about what fans think. So I have read all the fucking fan opinions on this topic. I've seen every talent talk on this now, and actually, what I've found is this: because Navi's winning and making finals and murking all these bad teams, like at Cologne, they've just farmed fucking noobs that could never win a major right now. By the way, because they're doing this, people are doing this thing where like retroactively. Now it was no longer a fluke that they won the major. Well, first of all, you guys never agreed it was a fluke anyway, so why are you presenting it like results change it? You said it was already not a fluke anyway. Here's what I don't get about that. Navi looks way better to me now. Way better. A bunch of players are with him is even better. The map pool is better. Everything's better. Bit is way better consistently. So here's my actual take. I actually think that how good Navi is now proves that it was a fluke. Because when they won the major, guys, they had 2 players with a 0.8 rating. You remember that stat? They lost more rounds than they won. They never looked like winning the major till they reached the final. And in the Swiss system, they lost to Cloud9, the ones you all just said are busted, and Spirit. Like, this was a team where, like, they barely won that major. Bro, the team that's playing now, this Navi, if I wiped my mind of everything up to the fucking EPL, everything after EPL, if I wiped my mind and I only saw this Navi from the next tournament onwards, dude, this Navi is a top 3 team in the world. This is a really fucking good team. And in fact, this team is the ultimate sign that Alexi B is just fucking goated. He's really good. And his players are all coming into play. Blade is just a fucking master. This is a guy where you give him 6 months, and months 4, 5, and 6 is when they're making the radical jump up. Every other IGL coach, it's the first 3 months you make the big jump up, or you don't make it at all. So actually, that's the take. People think this period proves it wasn't a fluke. I think this proves it was, because the Navi that was playing that way, by the way, guys, doesn't win any of these tournaments. This Navi looks really good. Like, this one looks hard to beat. Their T-sides are phenomenal.
Yep. I had the take on a snake and banter, and I'll just say it again. I mean, I'll reiterate. This is the best T-side in the world. It's the best T-side in the world. There's no question about it. I heard Chad on like Talking Counter say he doesn't want to like offer that kind of just say that they're the best team in the world or whatever at T-side, but it's like, who would you give it to? Like, who else beats them? They're the only team that has this, like, they're 11-1 in the last 3 months they're on 11 map win streak on Mirage, and they're winning 68% of their T-side rounds, and there is not a team in the world that is creating this much misdirection round to round. There is not a single team in the top tier that is making every other team look so foolish. When they play these rounds out, they are shooting people in the side of the head over and over and over again. It's why there's been this resurgence of people like Ema, because he's the product and he's the benefactor of this incredible system that Alexi and Blade has devised, and now he knows how to operate inside of it. It was clearly a system that he wasn't comfortable with at first, but now that he's actually thriving in it, it shows that it was well devised, and now that the players know the sort of moves that they can make within it, they are now able to now look like top tier players. And yes, I agree. The first tournament or the major that they won, they had a sub 50% win rate in rounds. Like they I don't think anybody's ever going to do that again. That's why it's a fluke. Never. No one's going to have actually under a 50% round win rate and then win the major. That just seems impossible. In fact, it almost feels like it shouldn't be allowed. But it's just that on the maps that they were bad at, they got blown out so badly, which spoke on the quality or the lack thereof of player quality that they didn't have at that major. Now everybody understands what their job is, what their role is. Alexi is more comfortable in the mid round as well. He can call the players back if he realizes that the mid round's not going to work out or that the normal sequence isn't going to work out. And that, yeah, now at this point, Navi is clearly a top 3 team. If I made a power ranking today, they would be my number 1 team. They are, because they don't seem to. They're also, on top of that, their mentality is unbelievable. Yes. The amount of maps where they just do lose and then they blow the other team out, and the next one is like nothing happened. Also, they're one of the only teams that just blows people out. Like FaZe, even against Liquid, a FaZe team that so many people want to say can power up in these kinds of moments, they always have to, they make it so difficult for themselves. Like they probably should have handled Liquid a lot easier, but for whatever reason, it always takes until that apex moment where they're like about to lose, the climax is right there, but then they actually flip the script on whoever it is that they're playing. If a Navi game plan is going well, you don't need some masterclass stroke of genius moment from Alexi. It's because the game plan that they came up with the night before has prepared them so well for this that they're just going to steamroll people, as they did to Saw today, who has been the nice little fairy tale run here at Cologne so far.
Look at Navi's results, 16 best of threes, they won 13. They lost 3 best of threes in the last 16. How ridiculous is that in today's competition? Like, they lost twice to Liquid and they lost to Spirit in that grand final of the spring final Banana Cup, right? So the thing is, like, the biggest reason is, like, for me, the games that I watch and demos that I watch is simplified version of Counter-Strike. It's like completely the opposite of what VP is playing. Like, it's very simple. The T side, like you mentioned T side yourself, they have the best rating and you would put them as the #1 team. I would put them as well as the #1 team right now. But the T side is very simplified. Like, you get some map control, you send one guy to show some presence on the other side, uses his utility, they group up with 3-4 people, like light execute, go in, trade, that's it. There is no rocket science, there is no moving 3 different like stages of the round. There is no forcing 35 rotations and then executing. It's very simple Counter-Strike. It's working for them. They have the players with the certain capabilities, like Wonderful, like JL, that are not like, you cannot say they're like some sort of the smartest fucking players, right? They shoot really hard. You teach them the basics, how to stand close to each other, how to pick next to each other, how to trade, and it's going to be good for you. You have the IHL that is really good. You have probably the GOAT coach right now. And, you know, that's all you need. The Navi is a good organization that is behind you. And, like, you have all these tournaments and, you know, you are now a team for a very long time. You already won the major. So everything is going good for you. The only thing that can ruin them right now is themselves. Fucking it up because you said the mentality is great. I don't know about that. You don't know about that. Like, maybe it's fucking worse than it was with Simple or something, right? But we don't know. Maybe it's better than it ever was. The thing is, like, the only one who can fuck it up right now is themselves, because they are riding this confidence wave. They're playing solid Counter-Strike that reminds me of, let's say, Liquid Counter-Strike in 2019 or 18 it was. Like, very simple, very, like, you know, or simplified. And, like, you know, there is not too many philosophies. It's just we go, we do this, and we have the idea. We have, like you said, the proper game plan. We follow it, we stick to it, and then, you know, most of the time it works. When it doesn't work, we bounce back on the next map and we try to win. It shows that, like I said, 13 out of 16 best of threes is something that not many teams in Tier 1 can say that they can do.
Sure.
Like, who did it last? Right, and it's not like they played total noobs or something. You know, they did play Astralis, FaZe, Maus, you know... G2, you know, again, Astralis, like I said, and then there's, like, obviously some of the weaker teams, but they did play the competition that is in Tier 1 right now.
Yeah.
They have not many games against Vitality or something, but it's just that the tournaments dictated that way. And obviously the Vitality not being on their strongest game, obviously we get to see if that happens in the future, maybe even in this event. They meet each other to see who is going to be the champion in the grand finals. I don't know. But, like, when we speak about Navi right now, yes, #1 team, and at this moment, maybe for the next couple of months, maybe it will change, because that's the interesting part about Counter-Strike right now. You don't get eras anymore, right? You just get like a couple of months of playing good and somebody else couple of months playing good, and that's what makes like all of it very interesting to watch and play and compete. So right now, Navi is at the top simply because the biggest credit for me, obviously besides the players playing well individually, yes, cool. But like Alexi and Blade and the org behind them is like a major reason why they're stable. At least they look stable, you know, because they know they're on the same page. They know what the fuck are they doing every single time, most of the time, and they bounce back when they fuck up, you know, and that's a good recipe to be successful in this game. But Duncan, should I go for it?
Go for it.
Should I go for it?
Yeah, because we've got a Navi related take, so come and hit me with it.
Is it Navi related? Yeah, because we were talking about, like, what was it that...
Basically, when Spirit lost... Kassad did that thing like a fucking reply guy. Like, the joke is now I can't avoid them, Maui. I don't read Twitter anymore, so now they come in like fucking chores. Like a reply guy, he just instantly, like the second they lost, put like, still think Spirit is winning the major? And if you don't know me, mate, I double down like a motherfucker. What are you talking about? I'm like America when I'm caught in a war. I just double down and double down. I go 10 years recruiting the young to go to this shit. So if I had to pick right now, yeah, absolutely. They're shittest ever now, right? Look, the problem is, based on the rumours, I actually do get the vibe. And when I looked at their faces, maybe someone is going from the team. Maybe they're making a roster move. If they keep this lineup, though, I actually still think this lineup could win the major. I don't think it could win the Shanghai major. I think this team...
can't, like, fucking... that's another... That, you didn't say that. You said they're still going to be that they're going to #1 contender to win the Shanghai major. Back in the whatever...
They've got months and months to... Yeah, okay, then I'll take it then. They will, by the time the Shanghai major comes, they will be #1. Yes.
#1 contender, right? That's what you said. Like, and this is what I replied you with in our chat, saying, like, listen, do you still think Spirit is going to be the #1? And then you double down.
Yes.
Obviously, this is... My hot take is that they're not going to make top 4.
Yes, because I pushed Kassad. What I did is, we do skin in the game around here. You don't get to just call my take out. You have to counter it with a take. So if you don't think they'll be #1, I said to you, okay then, if you think they're that bad, say they won't even make top 4. Because by the way, I think that is a hot take. Even though now fans are going to think they're shit right now at the moment. Listen, they still have a good map pool. They have 2 of the strongest players in the world, by the way, who normally are really considered. So explain why. I think it's a pretty hot take.
Duncan, first of all, they need to go through the RMR, right? They need to go through the RMR.
That's like
they're not missing the major.
I didn't say they're missing the major. I'm saying they have to go through the RMR, and then you decided you're gonna make the legend spot or the challenger spot. Then if you go to the challenger spot or the opening stage, then you need to go to 2 stages to get to the playoffs and win 1 game in the playoffs as well to get to top 4. But Duncan is like, he's like, they're still the main favorites. Yeah, maybe, but I'm not agreeing with it. I'm saying they're not making top 4 of this major simply because right now, did you see how they're playing in the last couple of months? It just, for me, it's not even.
It's just after a play break. They won the last tournament of the season 2 months ago, and one of those months, we all were sitting on the beach sipping pina coladas, and you were waiting for a fucking baby to pop out.
Yes, and?
So 2 months ago, essentially take the month out. A month ago, they won a tournament in that logic, and they started the season off slightly slow. And by the way, you're acting like they made it through. Give me a break. Go on, then make a hot take then. They're totally washed from your logic, yeah? Totally cooked.
They're not washed. They're just going to be the favorites to win the Shanghai. They're not going to make top 4.
So your hot take. This is why. Now you see, Maui.
I don't think they're good as much as you think they're good.
Now you see why I pushed him, Maui. Because his take in the end became so weak. Like, put it this way, mate.
What do you mean so weak? You just cannot get any better.
Kassad, do you know there's a concept, right? That apparently if you feed like whatever, like certain animals, like milk or whatever, they could just die instantly because their body can't handle it. Your milk would be so watered down, they'd go, another bowl, please, Mr. Kassad? Because your take in the end transformed into Spirit just won't be #1 for the major. Like, oh shit, so you just get the entire world field against me, Kassad. What do I win, for fuck's sake?
When did I say that? I said they're not going to make top 4. You asked me to say it.
So then double out. Here's the problem.
You basically challenged me to say it, and I took on the challenge.
Okay, so then here's the second follow-up. The follow-up, are you ready? The follow-up.
Yes.
The follow-up goes, why did you just dare invoke how they started since the play break? Because the way they played since the play break, Kassad, I'm doubling down from months ago, but the way they played, they shouldn't even do anything since then, right? They should be washed.
No, but because how they played before is what I'm not saying they won't make the major. Because how they played before
play the way in the last season,
I'm going to give them that they're going to be at the major.
Right,
and be like decent at the major, but not top 4. So that's the reasoning right now. For me, Shiro, and I said this before, and I know there's going to be trolls on the internet saying like, oh, how dare you say this, blah, 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 whatever. He's the most boring player there is. I don't see his impact on the map being anywhere. Anywhere. He might have the numbers, But you only going from donk, and you know how many fucking kills donk?
How did it? Listen, kassad. I don't care what anyone says. It's like this is blame F all over again. It is impossible to generate those numbers by not getting real kills. There aren't enough eco kills in the universe, mate. If Shiro's a boring player, where's he getting the kills from? You know what's boring, kassad? This is what's really boring. Peeking into Shiro's angle. It's boring as fuck, mate. You just get instant snap killed every time. Snap killed, snap killed, snap killed. Eventually you get bored of it. You just start going mid or something, mate. That's what's boring. What's boring is that this guy's so fucking reliable.
Oh, he gets kills because people are going into him because they cannot go to donk. Because donk sends them to him.
Yeah, okay.
He does all the work. And the whole team is oriented towards donk. And when donk is not delivering, why is not Shiro fucking delivering then as well? By your logic.
It only happened in one tournament,
He is so consistent and Mr. Consistent wears his frags on Cologne. Where are they?
Wait a minute. Your real take is you can't be consistent if you ever once in 2 series were bad.
Once in 2 series? Did you watch them play?
I just said, did I stop a motherfucker?
They got demolished by Mongols. And G2, they won total of what, 17 rounds in 4 matches? And you're still going to give them as the number one fucking seed in the fucking
start. They had 2 series they were bad in, son.
Yeah, one against G2 and one against Mongols.
Give me a break. If you really believe in Mongols, Fallen should literally be actually like forcibly retired. They should like section him and put him in an old person's home or something. He loses to them for fun. What is this take? Go on then. So Shiro's boring, right? Go on then. I'll tell you what. If he's
no, not just boring. The most boring player.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'll give you as long as you want. Name AWPers better than Shiro.
ZywOo, Mones.
There's 1, 2.
I'll go for it.
Do you need any more time, son? Is that it? I think you're out of order. Oh, what are you looking up? What are you Googling? You're going to try to phone a friend?
I mean, come on, Duncan. Like, the AWPers that are better than Shiro.
Yeah,
like,
keep going.
What are you basing it on? Are you basing it on
stats? No, kassad. Oh, wait a second. I've lagged. Wait a second. Shiro. Is it me? There we go. It lagged a second. Wait a second. Your camera's come back. There you go. No, it's your opinion. It's your opinion. You tell me who's... Listen... You probably believe some of your fucking teams, but you tell me who's better than Shiro. Go on, you just tell me. You give me 2 names. You gave me ZywOo, who gets the majority of his kills with a rifle, and you gave me Mauisnake, the hands-down best fucking player in Counter-Strike. Anyone else for shitter Shiro? So far, by the way, you've only picked the 2 best players in the world are better than him. So,
How many do you need? 55 to prove my point?
I don't even know what point he's making. It doesn't even make sense.
I'm just going to jump in.
So Spirit can't be number 1 for the major because they've only got the 3rd best AWPer in the world. Well, I mean, fuck me. I guess I better recruit ZywOo then.
And at the same time, I mean, I'll just say I'm gonna to split the vote to like actually take a side on this one. For Spirit making top 4 feels like almost a shoe.
It's a lock in it. Come on.
They've got. I mean, the only rifler that's holding a candle to donk right now is NiKo, and then it's basically for Spirit not to make top 4, it's almost that they have to get unlucky and draw like a NAVI or a G2 or maybe like a Vitality / Mouse, maybe FaZe. Like, but if they're playing anybody outside the top 6, they're smashing them. You mean
like they did Mongols? Yes.
Oh, Mongols that's an outlier, isn't it? That's an outlier. Come on.
That's what it is.
Maui, this is fraudulent. He even does betting. There's no way he treats betting like that. So by your logic, kassad, you're just going to bet against Spirit in all the games, right? Because you're going to get crazy odds, bro. You're going to get crazy odds.
No, the thing is, like, you're going to get crazy, or you're going to bet on value. It's not like when you bet on value, right? If they put the odds on fucking Spirit winning the thing at like 10 and 15, that's what you take them. Right, but logic says differently right now.
Okay.
And how good would the odds have to be? How good would the odds have to be if there was a bet that was like Spirit will not make top 4? What are the odds? Like, are you taking 1-to-1? Are you taking like 0.89? Are you taking 2.5? Like, what are you?
At this state, it would be probably 3.5.
Okay.
4.
So you think you would probably triple your money and you take that?
Or triple, yeah, that would probably take.
By the way, kassad, today is the 13th of August. Yes. On the 16th of June, they 3-1'd NAVI in a fucking best of 5, bro.
At the end of the season, in the Banana Cup.
Right,
yes,
so the end of the season doesn't count, but the beginning of the season counts. Okay.
No, I mean,
you win, I guess. You win.
Apparently, what do you mean? Like, the beginning of the season doesn't count, but the end does? for you.
The end is
you made a point.
The end is logically when people have had all the time to figure it out and get their form and play all the matches.
Is basically people get tired of the fucking events. Do you play the events?
I feel like there's like the weirdest thing about Spirit to me right now is that actually the body language and the answers from Zontix in that interview in the pregame with James Banks were so bad that I almost don't even know if this becomes even like a real discussion, because I think there's an above 25% chance that they are not using this 5-man lineup at the major. Like that's the crazy thing. It almost sounded like Zontix was just done. Like he literally, when James Banks asked him, what did you guys do? You guys are gonna play G2. You played him at EWC. You lost. Did you learn anything? And he said, I don't know. It's like, I don't know, or whatever. I was like, are you even trying to get better with this team anymore? Like, is anything gonna progress with you in Spirit? Like, that's where I'm concerned about them. And this whole discussion, it might even just be purely speculation, because they might not be this 5-man roster going into Shanghai.
Do you know how many? Do you want a stat for you, Kassad? Do you know how many series they've lost this year in Spirit? Just take a rough guess.
I don't know. 6?
7 in the whole year. And 2 of them just came now.
Yeah, but who did they lose to again?
They lost to G2 twice. They lost to Mongols. They lost to Maus twice. They lost once to Vitality and once to FaZe.
That's fair enough. The thing is, like, the first part of the season, they won Katowice, right?
So basically, only Mongols is the bad team, by the way. The rest are all top teams.
Yeah, that's all cool. Like, if you look at just the numbers, Duncan, that's all fine. Like, I get you.
All right, give me something in the game. It can't just be Shiro. There's got to be something else in the game. Chopper's not calling well. Zontix shit. What is it? What else don't you like?
It looks like, to me, like the difference between the old Spirit in the first part of the season and right now, obviously, besides the fact that everybody can see that the numbers are not the same, right? You see Donk being out of his fucking mind every game. Yeah, that's true. Right now, he wasn't. On this event, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Same goes for your boy Shiro.
Yeah.
Right? He wasn't there to pick it up. Who's gonna pick it up? Nobody picked it up. The same, like, how can you have to count that he's gonna always be this 2.3 rating for them to be?
I literally can. I can. Because here's why.
Then you can.
Because Duncan and Shiro are the two most. Duncan and Shiro are like getting spit roasted, mate. Both dicks aren't going to miss your face and your asshole. One of them's going in. You know what I mean? These are the greatest fucking, what we call, like, horsemen of all the porn industry.
They just missed both.
Yeah, once.
They just missed both.
And it was such a miracle that they're going to turn to, I'm going to go, guys, fucking have a shower, then lather up, come back out, someone get the jelly out, and let's try again.
For me, it looks like, besides, I was saying, like, the stats, they don't matter right now. Like, that's the obvious part. The thing that the people don't see, that they're, like, the way they're playing, Maui said it, like, the body language, the stuff after interview. Like, I don't think Magisk is, like, anywhere too close to his Zontix, who is supposed to be the best support player right now.
Do you want to know what I think?
Not even close to what he is. But bottom line is they're playing like they're not on the same page at all.
I'm with you.
And I don't know what it is. Like, obviously, we are not in that team. They are not on the same page. If they don't get on the same page,
and they're just never ever going to be on the same page again. Yeah.
I don't know, but that's my opinion.
Here's a take for you. Are you ready for a take? I'm actually, even though I do think he's one of the main reasons they're good, I actually think Halley has a lot to fucking answer for, mate. This is the guy who blew the veto at the major, stupidest veto of all time. You don't call that bluff. You just go into your map. You don't go into the vertigo no one's prepared for. Dumbest veto of all time. He's also the guy where I actually feel like in this team, it's your job to figure this out, mate. It's your job to figure out what's going on with the mood in the team. It's your job to figure out if people have got problems, etc. If you have right now, it's like I always say about Vitality, bro, you have one of the best rosters in the world. If I'm Chopper and I'm Halley, I'm not complaining about this team at all, mate. I've got two of the most consistent stars. They work well together. Zontix, by the way, even though everyone saw in this tournament, they're going to do the same thing from the major. He's shit, kick him. Look, maybe I would take the Perfecto angle, but if it's anyone else, I'm not. I'm going back to Zontix. Because I tell you what, give him 2 more tournaments. He has a really good tournament. He has the one where he just wins every clutch and he's fucking making all plays and his numbers are up again. So I don't know why people love hating on Spirit. I don't get it. For me, it's such an easy double down. That's why I actually do think it's a hot take, but I think you wild with the top 4 one. Like, I know I'm on the other end, but fucking hell, I think mine's more plausible than yours. Whatever, as I would.
Like, listen, let's be clear about something. I don't think they're just gonna be shit team forever. And they're going to be dead last on every event.
But why would they improve?
I just think they're better. They're going to be, by the time that Shanghai Major comes, they're going to be much better teams. They're going to be in much better shape than Spirit is right now. Because they cannot magically, Duncan, show up at the beginning of the season playing like a worst team on the tournament and then magically just become the best team and win the major. That's not logical thinking. Like, you have to see what's going on with the other teams too. Is G2 playing well? We didn't spoke about that. Because, like, they have a crazy lineup that's clicking right now at this moment, where Hunter is their 4th best player somehow, and he's playing like a fucking beast. And they're winning everything. That's them, right?
We'll see if that
then
lasts.
You have Vitality. No. I mean, I don't know if that's going to last or not. That's the thing, but it looks that way right now. And the major is what, 2-3 months away?
I tell you what, you're all just
Then you have
gassed off
Vitality and NAVI, and then you have Maus and maybe FaZe, and like there's a lot of teams.
You're all just riding honeymoons, mate. I'm done with honeymoons. Fuck honeymoons. I'm into long-term relationships. I'm in it fucking 15 years in when you come in and you just give them a cup of tea and go, your fucking head up, we'll go for a walk later. That's what I'm into. Fuck your honeymoons and your fucking weekend getaways in Paris. How about fuck honeymoons? How about actually have stop divorcing people after 6 months, you twat. If you marry them, you marry them. They're married to this team. And you know what? We're going to the bitter end. That's right, Shiro and Spit and fucking... And if we have to spice it up, I've already told you the sort of things we can get up to with Duncan and Shiro. Anyone else have a hot take?
Wait.
Yeah, obviously. You're acting like we're actually going to decide it and like figure it out here. It's just a fucking hot take, isn't it? So
I have a hot take. It changes this discussion entirely.
Hopefully it's a real one.
Teams we've talked about.
You know?
Well, yeah, it's a real hot take. It's a real hot take.
Okay,
It's that ZywOo. Okay, we have to do it. We have to do a little bit of ZywOo every time. Okay, so ZywOo, he's the most well-rounded player in the world. I mean, he's obviously incredible with the rifle when he picks the op, when he chooses to, that is. He can be exceptional with it too. And I feel like some of the narratives I've heard about him over time from Apex, Maniac, he's a soldier, he's really selfless, he doesn't know when to call his number. And actually, I'm going to go the complete opposite of that. I think ZywOo is actually insanely selfish. I think ZywOo is one of the most selfish players that you could possibly have on your team because every time he loads up a game of Counter-Strike, you don't know, is he going to be your opper for the day or is he going to be your rifler for the day? And that is something that has actually been such a huge detriment to the CT sides of Vitality in the first half of the year. And Apex even talked about this in some of the interviews to start the season. They look back at their CT sides. How are we going to change that? And the thing is that if you actually just had a primary opper who could hold the line instead of trying to hold outside rifling nuke on it, or like with a rifle, if he's trying to just play mid Mirage with a rifle, if he's trying to play practically every single map with just the rifle and just kind of play with his ego instead of actually trying to do in that round what they practice. In practice, what did you practice? Did you really practice with the rifle all the time? Or did you try it with making all these different op setups? And that's been such a huge problem, is that their CT side was not unlocked and fully enabled because they were playing with 5 riflers instead of actually playing with one of the best oppers, which they have. They have one of the best 3 oppers in the world on their team, but he chooses game to game to not actually do that. I made this take actually probably like 4 weeks ago, and I was ready to run it with this show. And actually, I've been kind of surprised. So I will say something as a little bit of a caveat here. Before this season started, before the EWC, ZywOo had less op kills for the year in the first 6 or so months. He had more kills with the AK than he actually had with the op. He was the only opper in all the top 10 teams that their opper was like this. But now, actually, it does look like they have addressed this. And so the way I would just retroactively place this take is that for the first half of the year, the reason that they didn't win tournaments was actually mostly because ZywOo was being selfish and not actually doing his duty as an opper for the team. He was just rifling too much.
I think you're right. I would say yes. I mean, in my article I just wrote, one of the things I said is a massive boon if you make him the operas. Now you have a predictable game if you are fucking Extaz and Apex. You know what you are going to get. Like, by the way, as an AWP, he can do things. You know, everyone does that line. Like, a rifle's more versatile only in certain circumstances. Like, the joke of ZywOo is, he's one of the only players I don't want to drop for an AK in a 1v3. It's like simple. Go for it with the AWP, mate. You're going to win it. Also, on CT side, you leave these motherfuckers on their own in a site and just go to the other site. You can do the gamble rotation because they can just do a highlight clip and take everyone out when they come there. Like, I think when they're on the AWP, these players are just too powerful. So I sort of agree in a way it is selfish. Like, that's why I've tried to point out the other way around. You know, I've told people the way I used to try to help Simple to channel being toxic is I told him, if you actually do carry the game, then you get to be selfish, mate. Because in that scenario, it's not being selfish. You're doing what your teammate can't. Flamey can't do that. Electronic can't do that. And the reason why it's gross that he rifles in this team is because they don't have another player who's an AWPer. Nobody else in this team is good with the AWP. They don't even have like a hybrid secondary AWPer. Instead, you've got two of the best riflers in the world in Flames and Spinks, and you're just going, I think I'll just rifle today. Here's my, I've got to rifle now. Daddy, I got to rifle. And then they try to do that thing in interviews where he's like a politician. Yeah, and I will do anything. I would do the unselfish move. We don't need it, fuckhead. We need you to pick up an AWP and shoot people. Why are you acting like we need you to do Mezzi and Apex's job? They're totally fine at that, mate. Why don't you just win the game? Like, that's one thing I'll never understand, is people where it's like, I mean, it's actually something Automatic told me. Automatic told me the reason he tried to be an AWPer is not because he's good with the AWP. He just said, I thought it'd be a challenge. I was just a really good rifler before. It's like, oh, did it get boring? Just, how about win 5 majors, then fuck off with the rifle, you idiot. What are you doing, right? Why are you getting bored? That's like striker arm borders. I think I'll play defense now. What are you talking about? Score 20 goals, you idiot.
I'm not even going to comment on that statement. But the thing is, like, when it comes to the opening on T side right now, on some maps you really don't need an open T side. Like Inferno, it's very hard to get something done. On Nuke, it's very hard to get something done. On Anubis, you definitely need it to punish the pushes from, like, you know, Cave or like B side from the CTs, because the map is like tremendously bad if you're CT right now. But on some maps, like I said, I don't think that the AWP is that necessary, especially even if you're ZywOo, you can still play off, even if you can play off, like, you know, Spinks and Flames and Mezzi or whatever the fuck, Apex going in first, and it should be fine with your team right now if you have a good structure in the team. Yeah. But the other side, the CT side, is completely different.
He should AWP every round on CT.
He should AWP as much as he can on CT.
Bro, I'm going to go one further. I also don't agree he's unselfish, Maui. I don't believe it. Because I remember when this guy came along in the scene, he was really confident. He was loving shitting on people with the AWP on CT, sir. So I'm going to make one bit. Here's my hot take. ZywOo doesn't AWP because he's a pussy. There you go. You want to fucking hide. He's done a reverse Device. Device used to not AWP back in the day to not have the pressure of AWPing, right? So you just rifle and you get like, oh, I did 3 for 98. Shut the fuck up. Get on the AWP and win the game. So he doesn't AWP because he's a pussy. He doesn't want us all to scrutinise him. And then when we all look at those games where he does badly in Elimination Series, if you're on a rifle, you won't have the misplay, mate. You won't have to play with it running Glocky in the head or something. But I'll tell you what, I'll say this right now. If you watch that FaZe Clan game that Vitality played, he's the reason they almost lost that game. He wasn't in that fucking series. That guy, I agree with kassad every round. But fuck even buying it, kassad. I'm dropping you with the AWP every round, CT. You can win us a round just with the AWP on its own.
There is a thing that people do right now, like when they play for the AWP. Most of the teams on the CT side, when they have a solid AWPer, they play around the AWPer. They play around the AWPer. They have like the openings that the AWPer is going somewhere. They play around them. Except for Spirit, where they play around Donk. But the thing is, like, most of these teams, they especially Vitality, should be playing the CT side around ZywOo. They should be fucking dropping him in the second round after they win the pistol, dropping him the MP9, send him for a kill so he has more money. And then he can buy AWP in the third round and punish the AKs, right? He should be absolutely having the AWP on the CT side of every map as much as he fucking can. Because the guy as he is, right, he's versatile in any aspect of the game. He can, like, he doesn't have to be defensive. He doesn't have to be aggressive. He can be both. He can jump into fucking upper side from heaven on Nuke and search for a pick in hut. He can go on Anubis in cave and pick down. He can go in fucking ancient cave as a T and as a CT and just get that locked and you know, secure that area. He can do whatever he wants because he's ZywOo. Not many players can do that. Like, you have AWPers that can be just a little bit more defensive, like Shiro. And then the thing is, they have AWPers that can be just aggressive. If you put them in a defensive spot, they will miss the shots. They won't know how to handle themselves. They will miss the rotation. They will not fucking do anything. And then you will misuse them. The thing is, like, with ZywOo, he's a guy who is, like you said, Maui, most complete player, one of the most complete players that we ever had in the game. And then just give him the AWP as much as you can on the CT side. Absolutely, I'm for it. For the T side, it's a little bit more calculated because of the economy, because the way the game is working right now, it's much faster. The different maps like demands different things. It's not the same when playing Anubis T side and playing Inferno T side. Playing Nuke T side, playing Ancient T side. It's just different picks, different like dynamic of the game, different openers. But I do agree that I don't know if he's selfish or unselfish, or he's a pussy because he doesn't buy on AWP, or he's a pussy for not asking more
Sure.
for an op if Apex and Extras are telling him we need to play more.
By the way, I did low-key also say that in the hopes that he hears it and actually just uses the op more. I don't mind taking the L. Just fucking come at me, bro.
Well, he's been using it. He's been using it in this month practically. That's basically when he started. But I'll just give some context with stats for people that really are thinking like, oh, like other people are rifling a lot too, and it's fine. A lot of people have come to me on like my Twitch chat and everything, and they're like, oh, Brokey rifles a lot too. And it's like, yeah, he does. But if you look at the same time period in this first 7-ish months of the year, Brokey had 35% of his kills with the op. ZywOo, 26%. It's a huge difference.
I'll give you one of the small reasons that we forget that there are teams that are force buying on the second and teams that are not force buying. So if you force buy, then you have an afford, and then you can afford in the fourth round. If you don't force buy, you go eco, full dry. Then the third gun round doesn't allow you to have an op. Then you win or lose, and then it's harder.
If you watch what he did at Dallas, there will be and this is like, again, like over a month ago. At Dallas, there will be rounds where Vitality have all the money in the world. ZywOo dies with a rifle, buys another rifle. They don't give him the op. This is CT side. This is CT side. This is CT side. They have all the money, $10K on Apex. They haven't even, there were halves, their entire halves, where ZywOo wouldn't pick up the op on CT side of maps like Nuke. That was just crazy.
That's a question for Vitality and ZywOo. Like, why don't you have an op on the CT side of any map? Because nothing stops you. If you have the money, there is nothing that should be stopping you unless you are lobby crunching on fucking Nuke with 5 people.
You just be rifling outside.
Yeah,
just rifle outside.
That for me, that's not the thing, right? Obviously, that's misusing the player and his capabilities. But I would love to hear why. There must be some sort of a reason. Dumb or smart, we don't know, right? Hopefully it's smart, but if it's dumb, then it's dumb. But the thing is, like, I do agree that he needs to be less of a pussy, right? When it comes to that, and just take the op and do his thing, because he's the guy, right? On the T side, like I said, I had the.
I've got a hot take for you.
Go.
The secret to some hot takes is this. People might agree with the take if it was just a little bit spicy, or it's just, grounded totally in reality. So what you got to do is you got to throw some more ghost peppers in there, and then you've got to fucking take enough psychedelics that you transcend reality and look down on the 3-dimensional plane from a fucking 5-dimensional hyper sigil space. And so here's my take. NiKo, he's the best player in the world. Like, remember, the convo everyone's having. This is why you need this short and you need us, guys. Your take is set on rails we created. So your takes as fans go like this. Is it Donk or Monacy or ZywOo who's the best? It's none of them. NiKo, this last month, is so fucking insane. Here's the numbers. Last month, 26 maps played on LAN. He has 1.35 rating, 0.58 deaths per round. That is impossible for a rifler, by the way. 0.83 kills per round. That is like prime simple with an AWP against top 5 opponents, 8 maps, 1.35 rating. Against top 10 opponents, 16 maps, 1.42. I know everyone was so high on that idea at the beginning of CS2. It's not his game. Yeah, it wasn't then. It's his fucking game now, mate. This guy is actually... Look, I don't know what will happen. Maybe ZywOo can come back. I obviously think Shiro and them, they're going to get it back together with Duncan Spirit. I'm pretty sure fucking Monacy is sick too, but NiKo right now is the best player in the world. I'm not joking. If I had to pick someone like today to perform, it's unbelievable, mate. He's fucking a genius again.
You want the
unbelievable. Yeah.
You want the green pill?
Go on.
It's SnapTap. It's SnapTap. He got on SnapTap. I swear
he's on SnapTap. Residuals or something.
No, he's on SnapTap. He's on SnapTap. No, when you play on SnapTap, it really does feel like your first bullet accuracy is that millisecond faster that it was like in CSGO. I swear. When I switched over to SnapTap, it honestly made my deagle feel like CSGO, because I always felt like you have to reset your recoil a little bit more. You have to reset your movement accuracy a little bit more. NiKo swapped over to SnapTap in the last month. He swapped over. I'm pretty sure it was from for EWC. I'm pretty sure he swapped over to SnapTap.
I know people said before he didn't use it, but he apparently changed, right?
Yes, and now he's way better. The game feels like CS:GO again for him. Feels like it for other people. If they ban Snap Tap, I'm a little. I think this confidence boost is going to help NiKo so tremendously that he's going to carry it over.
So your counter hot take is if they ban Snap Tap, NiKo won't be the best player anymore.
He won't be as good. He won't be as good. I promise he won't be as good.
Okay.
Yeah, no, because Snap Tap helped him for sure. It helped YEKINDAR too.
What I love is this.
It raised trash to like shiny or trash.
This is what's going to happen, kassad, because you have to understand, this is where Maui's just outed himself as not a true believer in the Church of NiKo, right? Because what's going to happen is when it gets to the major and NiKo's just cooking fucking Vitality like a quarter final, Maui's going to go, well, of course, that fucking Snap Tap tech. And then someone will go, what do you mean? NiKo hasn't had that turned on for 2 months. And Maui will be like, what? Nani? And his whole world would just be shook because he doesn't understand the fucking Bosnian beast that is NiKo.
He's good, obviously.
He doesn't understand what this man's all about. No, here's the thing about that guy. It's the other way around with NiKo. When actually he has a bad few months, I'm like, what could be wrong with him though? Like, is there something at home we don't know about? Like, are they not giving him his space? Because he's so insanely good at this game. It's why I had that take that I thought he was like a real contender for the GOAT in CSGO. Even though everyone's like, what are you talking about? Mate, the guy's longevity is impossible. Like, I actually think if you want to talk in the history of all Counter-Strike, I think a lot of those 1.6 players were fucking amazing. NiKo's probably like a top 3 talent to ever play any version of Counter-Strike. His pure talent level is impossible, mate. It's impossible.
I think it's like, first of all, NiKo is Serbian. That's one thing.
That's a whole political thing we're not going to get into.
Okay,
it's all good. Listen, kassad, I don't want to cause a whole thing, but you know what? All I'm saying is rep your set. But there you go, rep your set.
Thing is, like, first of all, he's Serbian. Okay. But there is no, I mean, Snap Tap. Snap my ass, dude. It's just that there is no, it's not a mind-altering fucking drug that you just get and you instantly play better. It's not that. Maybe it helps his mechanics and some of the frags that he's getting, but like the decision making that he's like, you know, that he has, and I don't mean like by is he gonna go fucking short or B. I mean like the fight that he's going to take, the angles that he's going to swing, that fucking plays that he's going to make. It's just him being above other people. Like that's because he's like once in a generation type of player. And I do agree with Duncan that right now you can, this month today, 13th of August, you can call him the best player in the world. Right now, because
just for the moment,
other. Just for the moment. You're not saying right now that ZywOo is like
he's not going to be number one for the year and all that, of course.
Yeah, of course not. But right now, at this moment, he's in the best form there possibly is. He feels like it seems that he's playing like CSGO himself. Is that a Snap Tap? I don't know. But I know that he's playing well. Is it the lineup? Is it the fucking things they're doing right now? That there is no hooks anymore or whatever the fuck is it, right? I don't know. But the thing is, like, the fact that the way he's playing right now, Duncan laid the stats out, so we're not going to go through them, but they're insane. Like, that's 26 map on lane, you are dropping
There's
over
a stat for you.
Rating.
Everyone loves that one of, like, how many games of +1 rating. He has, in that month, he has 88.5% of maps he has a +1 rating.
Fucking nuts, right?
As a rifler, that's impossible, mate. You can't do that.
Obviously, it does help that the other peoples around him are also like
they're all going off. Yeah, they're all going off.
Yeah, the Hunter, as I said, like having a Hunter as a fourth best player of the team, with the way he's playing right now, just proves that they're in a good spot right now, right? Again, you say honeymoon, whatever the fuck is it? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But the thing is that you have NiKo as number 1 right now after a long time in his team. He surpassed Mauisnake, who is number 2 in that team. I would say Malvs is number 3.
I've got another stat for you. Are you ready?
And then Hunter, yeah.
In the last month, if you do opening kills T-side, he takes 20.4% of attempts. So not insane, but it's pretty decent for an aggressive rifler. He has 60% success rate opening kill with a rifle. These numbers aren't possible, guys. This is like what Donk was doing. These are impossible.
It also helps the fact that the game is, maybe he realized the game there is no more holding angles anymore.
Could be.
Like when you swing, you have the advantage. The same way you had the advantage when you stand before.
Yes.
Right now it's the opposite. You swing, you have the advantage.
Oh, do you think it was like he was doing his old like check every corner style or whatever? That's probably true. That's probably true.
Yes, there is nothing to do with Snap Tap. Like he maybe got like over in his head that the game is now like this.
Okay.
His aim didn't go anywhere. His aim is still there. He's like quick, he's sharp, he's fucking accurate. But like he's that like kind of.
Oh, I've just realized something. You know, I came up with the nickname in 2016 for Cold Zera the Brazilian Terminator. Here's what happened. Because I knew Cold Zero would have completely just dominated all the years of rifle play from then on out, I travelled back in time. That's why I've always had this crazy baby face when I get the weight down, and the same identical face when I was 28, 38, however old I am now, don't worry about that. And then I travelled back in time like fucking Kyle Reese, and I came to NiKo. It was just some fucking guy playing on a shit team called iNation with a bunch of people just eating kebabs and shit. And I came in there and I go, NiKo, take this technology. Don't tell anyone about it. It's called SnapTap. Your diesel is going to be crispy. I gave him that. We implanted it into his arm, and that's why he's actually sick now, because he had to defeat the Terminator. See? That's actually, by the way, a better plot than any of the Terminator films after Terminator 2. That Terminator, NiKo, Balkan Avenger would be a fucking banger sequel. James Cameron, hit the line. We can make this happen, mate. Listen, we've got fucking Cillian Murphy's going to be in it. He's going to play me.
Oh yeah, cool, nice. But the only thing that offended me there is you thinking that we are eating kebabs, man. What the
whatever,
fuck?
Chavapi then or whatever with the ajmal on the side. Okay, there you go. Okay,
good enough. Oh, so good.
By the way, that is one thing I will say. When everyone's just going to Germany, oh, the kebabs. Oh, fucking, will you grow the fuck up, you little kid?
Turkish
I know. Yeah. Just grow up, kids. Just grow up, fuck up, will you? Yeah, listen, I've eaten more kebab than any human ever. It's not that great, is it? Even I had to learn, like, I've actually sort of just ruined my taste buds eating this shite.
I know,
actually. It's full of salt. What am I doing? I've just ruined my taste buds.
Why is it such an overhyped food, honestly?
It is.
It's fine. It's fine. It's great, like, drunk food, but that's about it.
No, dude, that's why it's the best, because when you're really drunk, all you want is pure salt and fucking grease.
Yeah,
of course,
exactly.
yeah.